Hello and welcome back to OneClimate channel's coverage of the United Nations climate talks here in Tianjin. This session is drawing to a close now. It's the Saturday evening and delegates are leaving the conference centre behind the camera. I'm going to try and give you a quick update of what's happened today on this final day. Many observers have expressed disappointment that more progress hasn't been made here, but we have seen glimmers of hope when it comes to issues such as climate finance and adaptation. Concerning finance, there seems to be the prospect of a new climate fund being created. I'm hoping that this might be achieved either in Cancun, the next big session, the next big climate talks in Mexico, or shortly afterwards. The monies pledged remain inadequate, and the governance of this new climate fund is still a question, but something under the authority of the United Nations seems within reach. One of the major sticking points is still mitigation, where the US's inability to commit to adequate emissions cuts has caused a political logjam, if you will. The US claims it can't commit to making cuts unless it knows that major developing country emitters such as India and China will also commit to making their own cuts in the future. Other developed countries are backsliding on their existing commitments under the Kyoto Protocol, saying that they can't be expected to meet these unless the US starts taking a leading role. And major emitters such as China and India point towards the historical responsibility of the industrialized powers and also highlight the efforts that they're already taking to limit their emissions in the face of very real development challenges and millions of people in poverty. Very real problems also remain when it comes to issues including forestry, with policy packages such as RED and LULUCF containing huge loopholes. And in this context, I guess for some it's easy to become cynical. Many commentators are wondering whether the very slow progress being made here is going to suffocate the legitimacy and credibility of the United Nations process. But in an exclusive interview we had today with Christiana Figueres, the Executive Secretary, she highlighted that we should put this in perspective. We're seeking nothing less than fundamental restructuring of human society, and maybe within that context and in that light, a year or 2 years becomes more understandable, even if the urgency of climate change is no less. The other issue is the reason why people or certain commentators or observers might be criticising the United Nations process and what the alternative is. I think it's important to highlight that it's governments that are the problem here, and actually there are people all around the world within countries who are taking action on a day-by-day basis. Of course, tomorrow we have the Global Work Party on 10th of October 2010, where over 7,000 events will be held around the world, people rolling up their sleeves and getting to action. I think what we need here is for governments to recognise that there is a political space for them also to move on this issue. Conference centre is literally being packed up around me, so I'm going to hand back over to the UK, and we'll be joining you next time in Cancun in Mexico, and let's hope for some more progress there.